Is it working?
Hello and welcome to First Impressions with Leah and Alex.
Spoilers beware.
So these are our first impressions of Cloverfield Paradox because we just saw it and we haven't even talked to each other about it yet. So there are definitely spoilers. So if you haven't seen it, go watch it and then you can come back.
So with Netflix original content, obviously a lot of their TV shows have been a huge hit, at least for us. And we've really been enjoying a lot of their content. There have been misses. I've seen a lot of their sci-fi stuff. So I've seen Arc, Spectral. You've seen...
I saw What Happened to Monday, Tallulah, and Our Souls at Night, which are not sci-fis except for Monday.
And then The Discovery is also another really good example. Netflix film that had a really cool cast, really cool idea, concept, and the script was pretty solid, but had a weird... The ending was a little loose.
I fell asleep.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And then, of course, there was Bright, which had such a huge world and great concepts behind it, and then just fell flat with a lot of audiences. With this Super Bowl, you're seeing the trailer for, Cloverfield, and you're expecting, okay, so 6 months, 8 months, what are we thinking? And boom, here it is.
Yep, it's on Netflix now.
So what do? We finish Super Bowl.
And go on Netflix.
And then hit play.
And it's right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now on to the movie.
What are your thoughts? First impression, go.
First impressions, I think I would say it's Alien meets Life meets Lost in Space.
Okay. I was thinking more like Fringe meets Alien meets Godzilla.
Set in the Cloverfield universe.
Sure.
I think that's that. We'll get to that, but the Cloverfield universe is the most interesting part of this.
Wait. Meets Gravity.
Yeah. So I'm mixed. I mean, I liked it for a Netflix film. It was a Netflix original. It was a Cloverfield original, but the ideas, the writing, the crew, everyone thrown together on a ship, the way it is, it's just not original. Cloverfield Lane was definitely unique. It was such a different sci-fi, and it was a big surprise. You didn't feel like the first Cloverfield, and this Cloverfield didn't feel like any of the other Cloverfields either. They're very different movies set in possibly the same universe. There is a multiverse. I love the concept that they introduced a multiverse.
Yeah, I do too. What I liked was that the first Cloverfield movie was kind of like a big monster movie, and then the second Cloverfield movie is like almost like a play, but it's very contained, like a suspenseful drama thriller.
Yeah.
And then the third movie is set in space. It's a suspenseful, lost in space kind of sci-fi movie. So there are 3 different genres all within the same universe, and I really like that.
Mm-hmm. And they're not direct sequels of each other in any way.
Yeah, you don't know where they happen,
even in the
necessarily.
I think...
And none of the people are the same, right?
Yeah, I think this one might be happening simultaneously with the first Cloverfield.
Yeah.
Again, not sure. We would need the 4th movie, see what they give us from there.
Right. This was kind of cool because it kind of started a little bit before the first movie.
Yeah, sort of explaining I love the concept that is explaining that the world is running out of energy and tensions are growing, and people are now waiting in line forever in gas stations, and there are blackouts, and
it's kind of a cautionary tale of this is what happens when you rely on oil.
Fossil fuels.
Yeah. Monsters will come and eat you.
Yeah. So I think as a Netflix film, I would say that it's definitely top 3 of a Netflix film that I've seen so far. Yeah, I would put it in top 3. On its own, if you were to put this in a movie theater, it would...
It just doesn't compare because it borrows so much from other sci-fi movies that it doesn't feel as original.
A lot of movies pull from Alien. This movie literally had the guy goes on the table and explodes with an alien. This one, there weren't aliens.
It was different. But yes, you're right.
I've seen Alien and I want to do that scene. And that's what the director did.
It felt like an homage to Alien.
Right.
So
they even had you open up the suspenseful opening up the the wall pieces to see what's in there.
That was good.
Yeah, it was
But the
good.
reveal of the woman with the wires stuck through her, we saw the woman, and instantly you know, okay, two universes crashed together, just like Fringe. She's stuck with wires because she existed in the same time and space in a different universe, or I don't know.
I'm thinking that it's just because we've seen Fringe, which was also produced by Bad Robot, and Fringe is littered with Bad Robot sci-fi material. And so, there is definitely a Bad Robot sci-fi touch to it. So we saw, as soon as we saw...
Not in a bad way.
Not in a bad way, no. It was...
Because Fringe is...
It was believable. It was like, oh, that lady has wires all through her. But, the moment we saw the lady, we're like, oh, universes colliding. We both just said universes colliding.
We both knew exactly what was going
multiverse,
on.
parallel universes come together, and boom, that's exactly what it was. More of the ship should have been weird. It's just when you play with that, it's sort of like, it just felt more like the opposite of the hand of God. It's like, well, you're SOL.
You're right. It is actually kind of weird that if things would be in places they don't belong, that the ship itself wouldn't also have problems with that, and so that there would be sections of the ship that were just inaccessible because they were gone and
or moved.
But or there's a wall there that didn't used to be there.
I think they just should have fringed it, and both ships are trying to jump, and then they both hit or on the other side of the orbit, and they just fuse the two ships together.
Yes,
so they
I
could
think
have.
so too.
They just should have done that episode 12 of season 2 of Fringe, I think.
Nerd.
I think it's episode 12. Maybe episode 13 or 14. Needless to say...
I love that you're a nerd.
You're a nerd. Needless to say, there are pieces to how they filmed this that are very reminiscent of other Bad Robot films and TV shows, so that means that they gotta stick to the same logic. You know what I mean? So if you're gonna stretch the realm of belief a little bit, suspension of disbelief, if you're using similar scientific rules, you gotta stick to them. I
see what you're saying, but I also can see where this is all theoretical anyway, so I can see the appeal of wanting to try out a similar situation but have the laws be different and see what plays out with different laws, because it is all theoretical. When they first realized that they couldn't find Earth, I thought that it was a paradox of them existing or Earth existing at all. One of those, with an actual timeline issue.
I thought that they just jumped across the galaxy. I thought that they had accidentally discovered jump technology, something like that.
My first thought was I was worried that they did something where they messed something up, so now technically they didn't exist, or Earth didn't exist, or I don't know. There was they were a paradox or something. I don't know.
The whole paradox would have been if it was dealing with time, and then if she had gone to see, if the main character, female character, had gone to see her other version of herself and stopped her children from dying in that way, that's sort of a paradox.
The part that I didn't get, or wasn't sure if I understood, was when the woman from the other universe said to Monk something about, I know you're from my universe and you're running to theirs or something. Do you remember that moment?
She was just saying, before you guys get yourselves back home, please get me off this ship heading to my Earth.
Oh.
That was her point.
Oh, I thought she was
making.
telling him, I know you're from my universe.
No, it wasn't that kind of twist. Okay. That would have been cool if he'd been some sort of infiltrator or something like that.
I thought that's what it was, okay.
No.
But I was confused and they never mentioned it again, so I was, that makes sense.
That would have been a really good twist. Because she shoots Monk at the end. And, the gun. It drives me nuts when people bring guns into it. Why is there always a gun in space?
I'm surprised I'm not the one saying this. I mean, I am, but I'm surprised that you agree with me.
It wasn't an action movie, and it was a horror movie, and there's
a reason you don't bring guns on a space station.
Yeah, I actually like the entire cast. Everyone acted their roles well, even if they were very cliched. But the classic guy goes crazy, he's about to kill everyone. His big twist was just that he didn't shoot anyone. He just keeled over, threw up, and then exploded with worms.
Yeah.
okay, who's gonna die next? Oh, they're gonna die in this horrific way. Okay, how are you gonna die next? Oh, you died in that horrific way. And I'm guessing there's gonna be somebody in this movie who has a heroic sacrifice. Yep, there it is, heroic sacrifice. Okay, what's next?
Yeah,
And
that did. Yeah, I didn't like that so many people died.
Yeah, it's just sort of, it almost felt forced. Like,
Yeah. I didn't want the comic relief guy to die. I didn't really feel a lot.
yeah, so there's the setup for the lead and her children. We didn't really learn what happened to her. We sort of learned over time what happened to her kids. I actually cared more about the husband and the little girl he rescued.
Okay, so yes, I really liked the main character and that actress. She was great. But I also did want to see more of the husband. I felt more for him and the little girl. I wanted to see more of what they were going through. And maybe that's because they were on Earth. And they were linked more to the first movie and the whole universe than anything else.
Yeah.
The production value was great. I liked the casting. I thought it was
No, the casting was good. I agree with you. Yeah, I think
the casting
everyone
was
really
great.
nailed it.
Everybody did really well with their roles.
Yeah, if I were to read that script, that was a great cast for that script.
Yeah.
I don't know the director that well, but I think the cinematography was pretty good. There's some really attractive shots.
Yep. The scary moments or gross moments I thought were pretty effective. I was very grossed out with the bugs, the worms.
Yeah, and the wires. That was a freaky scene. Yeah, the wires through her body was really
Those were
freaky.
really good. And I don't think that they were like gratuitous.
No, not too bad.
It wasn't super violent, which I liked.
We're just so used. And the other thing is that we're still kind of used to it by this point.
But it wasn't.
But it wasn't overly done.
It wasn't like a horror movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think it didn't know what it wanted to be.
I think it was a lot of things.
Yes.
Maybe one thing that could have worked better was, and even though we really liked the stuff with her husband on our Earth, maybe it would have worked better if we didn't see anything from our Earth at all. And so that would make you feel much more isolated and away from
That's a good call.
their home. I really liked the ending.
Oh, when he's on the phone?
When he's...
You were yelling on the phone like, why would you send her down here?
I love that.
Yeah,
that was
cool.
a great last line for dialogue.
Mm-hmm. And then it's implying that, like, from what we've seen from his perspective, it looks like he's seen and heard a lot more than we've seen from his point of view. So
like, don't send her down here. Tell her to go back. Like, stay up there. And then the next thing that you see is it falling, and they're coming to Earth.
And it just
and
goes
there's
through the
clouds.
Yeah, the first cloud
you
layer.
see the cloud layer, and you're like, oh boy, what's gonna happen? Monster.
Yeah, and I think my favorite part, like I said before, is this Cloverfield universe. Like, they're just. What's an example of this? That you're just looking from so many different perspectives at this disaster world, like all these different disaster movies.
And it's not that the Cloverfield universe itself is that extraordinary. It's just that.
But we still don't there's the mystery, the allure. We don't know the Cloverfield universe. We're just getting little tidbits every movie, and
that's
so
what's cool.
I think that's the really cool part. It's like, okay, where are they going to take this? Because they're not calling this Cloverfield 1, Cloverfield 2, Cloverfield 3. Like it's not in order. It's just here's a different part of the story, and
you can watch them independently from each other.
Yeah, and I am looking forward to the day that I can see the next part of this journey.
Yeah.
But now we actually have an answer of, okay, so it wasn't aliens or it wasn't like a Godzilla-like monster. It just came from a very alternate universe during when a bunch of scientists were actually trying to save the world. So it came into existence but it wasn't from a nefarious evil scientist dude.
It's kind of like a cool exercise for a filmmaker in creating all sorts of different types of films based around the same disaster movie concept.
Yeah, or just there's the Marvel U, the DC U. At this point, there's a Cloverfield U. Like there's a Cloverfield universe, and they're not done. Like I think that they have a lot of different movies.
Yeah, and And it's kind of like they're trying to make something for everybody. So, depending on what your tastes are, you'll probably like one of their movies. If not already, then at some point they'll make a movie for you that you like.
Yeah. I mean, and like, if you're watching the Cloverfield movies for the Cloverfield universe, period, and trying to see, what are the little tidbits you get, of the three, this one, I wouldn't go to the theaters for this one. So
Right.
maybe that's part of the reason why they put it on Netflix. I don't know.
Yeah,
But
I think Netflix is the perfect audience for this third movie because of the other Netflix sci-fi movies. This one fits in well with it. Its production value is high, which is great, but it's also the third in a franchise that's already got two very different movies, so people don't know what to expect at this point. So you can't really guarantee an audience, and if so, it's the third one in a series, so your audience is pretty niche at that point anyway. And I think the people that will appreciate and like this movie the most, and the Cloverfield universe the most, are people that watch Netflix.
So yeah, I mean, I'm genuinely excited to see what the next one's going to be.
What do you think the next one would be? What would you make the next genre be? What do you want to see next in the Cloverfield universe?
I think I'd like to see the military side of it now. So like maybe a war film. So kind of like what Battlefield LA was trying to be, but this time the Cloverfield version of it. The country's first response, all of a sudden this is all happening. I think I'd like to see that as the next movie. I kind of want to see what that version of it would be.
So more of like the strategy, the government.
The response, yeah.
Response.
Yep. But the militaristic response, now a sci-fi war movie from it.
I think it'd be cool to see the response of the rest of the world, or parts of the world where they're not currently being attacked.
Or
to get kind of an outside perspective on it.
Or a genre that they haven't touched yet is romantic comedy. So
somebody falls in love with a monster.
Yeah, not King Kong, no.
It's the shape of water, except it's the shape of
Cloverfield. Which is just so it's a romance story that takes place in a field of clovers. that's how they stick to the Cloverfield name.
Aww.
But yeah.
I think it'd be cool to have a post-apocalyptic one set in the future, so the world after.
I would do that. I would do that a couple of movies.
And how far down the way.
Yeah.
Down the line, it would be cool to have a post-apocalyptic one.
Yeah. So
after the destruction.
The Walking Clovers. Banana, Carl! Clover! Doodaloo 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 doodaloo.
I forgot to talk about the music.
I don't remember it that well.
I do. I thought the music was great because it's Bear McCreary and he's my dude. It was really intense and it was like with me the whole time. I think
it was a pretty solid score.
Yeah, good score.
Yep. It wasn't Hans Zimmer, but it was a good score. Not everyone could be Hans Zimmer. Before anything else, just want to say that The Walking Clovers is a great idea. Please do it. Most definitely. And Carl Grimes should definitely be in it.
Clover!
Clover Grimes. Clover!
Are you done?
Clover.
Okay. We've devolved. But we would love to know what you think. So comment below and tell us your thoughts. We're very eager to hear them. If you liked this video, please like down below and subscribe down below. There's a little red button that says subscribe, and you don't have to pay for it. It'll just send you notifications when we upload new videos. Spoilers.
At the end of the video. No, we've definitely said spoilers before.
Oh yeah, by the way, there are spoilers in this, so...
Oh, by the way, there are spoilers in this.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, don't watch these videos until after you've seen the films. Just a helpful hint.
Right.
At the end of the video.
Definitely put this at the end.
Yeah.
All right. Right.
Okay.
Thanks for watching, and thanks for having me. I will return.
Good.
For Black Panther.
Rawr.
Clover!